Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday night, and we are back. My name, of course, is Seth Bidoff. That's Jacob Terrell. We are United Front. I'm not sure if Christina is joining us this evening. She may or may not be along. But we're here. We have... Do we have
No news. No news.
There's no news. Bye. We're done. See ya.
Nothing.
Um,
We play Saturday. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
That's about it.
It's very, very strange because we had Harry on last week. Harry joined us. We talked some WrestleMania. I'm sorry you missed that discussion. I know you just love WrestleMania talk. But yeah, I mean, we caught up with him, caught up with what San Antonio is doing, talked about the fact that we lost to Rising.
And we did. That was the thing that happened. Yeah,
that was a couple weeks ago. Obviously not great by any means. That is right. Training facility gate. We'll get to that here in just a minute. That's right. We had that have good grief. That's how slow of a week it is. Like, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. But yeah, you look at the standings and we've played 3 fewer games than some clubs.
Mm-hmm.
How weird does that feel to say? It's the end of April almost. We've played 3 fewer league matches than a couple of teams. We have anywhere from 1 to 3 matches in hand on everybody in the conference.
I feel like it seems like that happens like every year where we're always like 1 or 2 matches behind, especially in the years that we don't start at the same week as everybody else, like this week was the case. And so yeah, it definitely, like, if you pull up the standings on Google, it has us in 10th, but if you pull them up on the USL website, it has us in 8th, sitting on only 6 points. But then, the 2 teams directly above us are at 6 games. The 2 teams directly above them are at 7 games. Then El Paso has 6, and then the 2 up top have 8. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, if we can take advantage of that, like, we're sitting great. If we can't, then we're still in a playoff position currently, and so it's obviously not where we want to be, but also not every, like, Orange County and San Antonio are 11 points ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
And El Paso is 7 points ahead of us, but we have matches in hand on all of them, and so nobody's running away with it yet, which benefits us. And I think I was talking to some people about it a little bit this offseason or this last week. I will, full disclosure, I did watch the Phoenix match, obviously, and then since that match ended, I don't know if I've looked at. I know results from last Saturday. I know the result from tonight, but I have not watched any highlights. I have not been on social media. Like, if you ask Josh, who's surprisingly not over in the chat yet.
Josh and Justin.
Both of them are. They have messaged me, and it has taken me like days to reply to them, which usually when they message me, it's pretty much right away, and it's just been super busy for me personally and us as a family. And so, hey, there we go. And so it's just been kind of chaotic. So I know we're in 6th place or 8th place. I know we lost to Phoenix our last time out. I know it was bad, but I don't remember a whole lot of details. Good evening, Mama Christina, aka Rosemary. And so we'll see. I don't think I said hi to Michael either. Michael, hello, welcome.
Yep.
And yes, Desert, aka Mike, Lexington probably has the most money per point right now in the league, because they have they have 6 points, but they probably have spent a few million more than us. I would be willing to bet.
It's entirely possible. Yeah, you mentioned there's a match tonight. I didn't even realize there's a match tonight. Good grief. Brooklyn and Sacramento on a Tuesday night.
Sacramento drew at the death on a red card penalty. So I didn't watch the highlight for that yet. I just saw the result a minute ago. There's Josh.
Yeah, that's wild for a Tuesday night.
See you guys.
That's really odd.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you've got a whole bunch of football tomorrow night. You got football on Saturday, and the thing is, we've got one year. Like I said, we anywhere from 1 to 3 matches, and we don't even get back to league play until next week.
Right.
So there are still some more league matches to be played this week prior to getting into Prinks Cup this weekend. Here's Christina. Hello.
Christina, give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Bam.
Okay. There she is. Christina, how are you?
Sorry, I'm late again, guys. I'm the worst.
I mean, you're a minute late by my standards. Like 8:05 is when we technically start. Even if we did start technically early, on time / early for me. So we were just kind of talking about. So we have 3 matches in hand over some teams in the E or in the West, and at least 1 match in hand, I think, on everybody, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And so just kind of chatting about that and how we don't even get back to league play until over a week from now when we play El Paso. And so, yeah, just kind of weird scheduling, weird results. And then I apologized because I have no idea what's going on anywhere in the soccer world right now, especially with Minnesota and Colorado Avalanche and Minnesota Timberwolves being in the playoffs in their respective leagues. It's been fun, and the Rockies are fun. The Rockies have been fun to watch. So I've watched a lot of Rockies and a lot of Timberwolves and a lot of Avalanche. So, and so yeah, it's been a busy one. It's been a busy one, and then family and work stuff. I actually interviewed for a job today, so and then I had to run to Roswell for a school event. So yeah, just been busy, very busy. But
a job hopefully in New Mexico.
Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't move. I'm not moving from Fort Sumner anytime soon. It's a job within state parks still. It's my boss, the position that my boss was in. So my boss got a promotion and moved up, and I interviewed for that. So it's the regional manager position within state parks. So instead of being over 1 park, I would be over 7 parks down here in the Southeast.
Are you going to nominate an assistant to the regional manager?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I will. Who that is, I don't know. Might have to have some competitions for that. But
as long as you have Flonkerton, we're good.
Yep, 100%. And I know what you're referencing. I have no idea what the references are.
The Office.
Oh, I know what you're referencing. Yeah. I just don't watch The Office. So I know enough to know that you were referencing The Office. I just don't know the details. I would have riffed right there with you if I could have, but but nope. That The Office is not in my wheelhouse necessarily.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone. Jacob is failing everyone here right now.
Look,
so
I enjoy the show. I will watch an episode here and there. I just don't know the whole zeitgeist like some people do, because I choose not to make a show my personality. And if you think that that's a shots fired, it probably is. And so, yeah.
Yeah, as a weird week. I said we were, Christina and I, we had Harry on last week, and I'm sure Harry and I bored Christina to death with the WrestleMania talk as well. But
Christina, now you know how I felt when Earl was on, and these two would get on tangent about it, and I was just like, I'm gonna
admit that's probably when I was hitting the plus 10
15%. Yeah. 15. Yeah. I couldn't do that in real life. I just had to sit here and bear it.
I did think about you, Seth and Harry, though, because I came across something about WWE, the Miz.
The Miz,
yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But this is going to age me. The only reason why I know of him is because of
Real World.
The Real World.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. I was like, oh wow, he actually became a real WWE star.
Yeah, he's been a WWE star for a couple decades now, which is wild to think about.
Really?
Yeah.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
That is how old I am. Yes.
Well, because I remember when he started in WWE too. I didn't realize it was that long ago. Yeah, now I feel old too, Christina. So
yeah, it's been close to 2 decades now. So yeah, It's been a while, but yeah, no, he's been cursed a couple times. He took a shot to the nether regions over the weekend. And Jacob, you will recognize it. Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Brock Lesnar retired.
To be fair, I recognize most of the new names too.
Okay.
Not like the brand new names, but a lot of the new names. Because it's still like on my radar ever so slightly, just because I'm on ESPN all the time and see it and whatnot. And for the big events like WrestleMania or Royal Rumble or something like that, I will pull up the results just to see like who I recognize and who I know and who I don't, and who they're casting. And then, oddly enough, I don't know if you guys know of Bill Simmons and The Ringer, the podcast network that he does. I listen to the Bill Simmons podcast all the time, and he's a wrestling guy from time to time. So every once in a while, he'll have like some back of the house people on that are like higher ups in WWE and stuff, and they'll kind of talk about the inner workings of it, which I find fascinating. And so I kind of keep up with it through that.
So
yes, folks,
is WWE like a soap opera for men? Like, is it
100%.
all
Basically
staged,
It is 100%,
like
yes.
acting, pretend?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep, that's really what it is.
That is about as spot on as you could do with any kind of analogy there. In anything, like that is definitely the best way to put that, and I think it's really important for young boys to get into it because it's character development, and it's like the first time that they might get their little heart broken over something that they can't control and stuff. That in sports, I prefer sports because sports aren't. Spoiler alert: they're not staged or scripted.
Wait
And
a
if they
minute.
are, they get in trouble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, but when I was little, I had my big body pillow and a trampoline and was choke slamming them, or me and my cousins would choke slam each other all the time on the trampoline. Somehow, miraculously, nobody got hurt. But yeah, we would spear and rock bottom and tombstone pile drive and everything like that. And so it's it was a big part of my childhood. It's just not important now. And yes, Justin, boxing is real, but boxing is boring. And it might be fake too, for all I know. Well, it depends.
Depends on the fight.
If a Paul brother is involved, it's probably staged.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
I would agree with that 100%. Yeah, no, I have a personal tie because Cody Rhodes, I know him personally. I grew up with Cody, so he's
time out. All of the wrestling talk that we've had on this podcast through the years, and I'm just now realizing, I'm just now hearing about this.
Yeah. No, I grew up with Cody Rhodes. He was good friends with my stepbrother as a kid, and so I've met, years ago I met Dusty Rhodes, met Dustin Runnels, his older brother as well. So yeah, I've met the American Dream and Gold Dust and Stardust. So yeah,
interesting.
So yeah, I do have personal time. And then I actually know I've met Roman Reigns, Joe Anoa'i, Georgia Tech former football players. I've met him. And then my mom, when I was a kid, she worked out at the same gym as Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I got to meet him in real life as well. Yeah. But yeah, so I do have a little small personal tie to it. Like I said, I've known Cody. Haven't talked to him in a number of years, but I do know him. I've grew up around him. So, but yeah, so it is interesting to still just stay involved and invested, and obviously watch the bigger events of the year and that type of stuff. But yeah, Brock Lesnar, obviously former UFC heavyweight champion, former WWE champion, retired over the weekend. So big news there.
Sorry, hold on. Who was that?
Brock Lesnar.
He retired. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he retired. He retired on Sunday at WrestleMania. Immediately after a match, there was no build up to it. There was nothing. He lost the match and broke down, said I'm done, and quit. He retired in the middle of WrestleMania.
Well, that sounds like poor writing.
It does sound like poor writing. I agree.
I can guarantee you people cried.
Yeah. Oh, I guarantee they did as well. So, but yeah, other than that, I mean, Really wasn't a whole lot of United news. Obviously, you got results from around the league, and we can take a look at that here quickly before we get into the news, so to speak.
Drama.
Real quick to
drama.
answer Eric, I had a friend who went to Denver or lives in Denver, so got to see Messi play. And she sent me some text messages with some real zoomed in grainy photos.
That's awesome. Yeah, I would not go watch Messi really anywhere. Not only could I not afford to go see Messi, but yeah, there's no chance. And Jacob, we'll ask you too, because Harry, we were talking about last week about World Cup tickets. Do you think FIFA has a problem?
FIFA has a lot of problems. The ticket prices is one of the smaller ones, I think. But yeah, it is insane, and unfortunately, it's kind of the norm across like everywhere lately. Is ticket prices for that kind of stuff is going up, and I don't necessarily blame them for the most part, because live sporting events and live concerts and stuff like that are kind of, to me, one of the few like special things that still happen, like because of these things and the internet and stuff. It's just kind of tough to have shared person. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but like on Thursday nights when ER came out back in the day, like you watched it by yourself or with your house, but then everybody watched it that same night. And so it was a shared communal experience that, you would go back to work or go to school and be like, hey, did you watch this last night? And everybody's like, yeah, it was crazy. Oh my gosh. Kind of like WWE, right? And now we're getting so far away from that with everything being on demand. People watch it whenever they want. So those live events kind of are the last hurrah for that kind of stuff. And they're special. Like watching the Super Bowl with a group of friends while everybody's kind of paying attention to it and not distracted is one of my favorite things of the year. It's because it's something that we all do together without worrying about this or that either. So when you have something like that and people are willing to pay for it, then you're going to raise the price. Simple supply and demand. And so it's a bummer, but and unfortunately people will still pay for it. I paid $200 a ticket for a concert in Denver that we're going to in July. And had you told me that I would do that even 6 months ago, I would have called you crazy because that's ridiculously expensive for me. But
what concert? I'm curious.
It's Forrest Frank. He's a Christian artist that he does like some pretty popular Christian songs that, and he's a good show. It'll be worth it, but yeah, expensive for sure. And so we're gonna go to a comedian in Albuquerque next month. No, June. And his are fine, but he's also not like a big name. And so it's like $40, which is fine. But yeah, just stuff like that they're going to price gouge when they can, and people are going to pay and go. And it sucks for the everydayman like us, but here's what it is. So yeah, they have a problem with ticket prices for sure.
Yeah, that they do. So do some of the metropolitan areas that are trying to charge $100 for a bus/train ride to and from stadiums. But if they're not getting paid by FIFA and IFAB, it's a whole problem. But yeah, we were talking about last week. I would love to go to a World Cup match, but it's just not going to happen. There's just no way at this point, and ticket prices are outrageous. To Josh. I think it was Josh. Am I on Team CR7? Absolutely not. I am Team El Rey. That is who I am supporting. So, But yeah, so results from over the weekend. United's off week. You've got Charleston Battery pulling a draw with Tampa Bay. Switchbacks pick up a 4-1 win over Monterey Bay. Lou City 1-0 winners over Sporting Jacks. Hartford Athletic and Loudoun 0-0 draw. Miami losing at home 3-0. Phoenix Rising. Riverhounds pick up a 2-1 win over Detroit City. El Paso falls near the death of that one to San Antonio 3-2. Oakland Roots picks up a 1-1 draw against FC Tulsa. Orange County and Lexington 0-0 over the weekend as well. And then the Sunday nightcap was Birmingham Legion picking up 2-2 draw at home against Indy 11. So, I mean, realistically, who is the worst team in the league right now? Is it Sporting Jacks or is it Monterey Bay? Because I can't figure it out.
It's Monterey Bay.
You think so?
I mean, I haven't watched a ton of their matches. Monterey Bay has one extra point to Sporting Jacks.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the results, Sporting Jacks they're putting up some fights. They're not. Sometimes the scoreline is a little wonky, but if you actually look at when the scoring happened, it's all in the second half, late, and so I don't know. And the few matches I've watched, one match of Sporting Jacks and probably two matches of Monterey Bay, and Sporting Jacks just looks the better team, ever so slightly. But it doesn't either way. The fact that it's a conversation is a problem for Monterey Bay. Because Monterey Bay is not a first-year team. They should not be as bad as they are. And yet, here we are. They have firmly taken over the Vegas-Miami slot for me over the last couple years of the laughing stock of USL.
I worry about them, too, just as a club. I mean, some of the crazy shenanigans they were doing to try to get fans to buy season tickets, or I don't know. I wonder about the health of the club in general.
I mean, at least they didn't drop money from a helicopter or have kiddie pools poolside or pitch side, like another team that I was worried about at some point. They have Sebastian Lletget that bought in to ownership, and so maybe he could, if Jose Batista can turn around Vegas, maybe we can get a turnaround there in Monterey Bay, at least as far as the seriousness level of the club. But I don't know. It's a little strange. Who's the best team in the league? Who's the best team in the West? Because somehow Orange County is tied for first. And I don't understand that. That kind of breaks my brain. Because we played them and we beat them, and I
agree with Space Kid. It's not United.
Obviously.
But also I feel like it's the Wild West. There's just, I don't know, there's ups and downs for every team. It's such a crapshoot. And it's still pretty early.
It is. I think the best team that I've seen is probably San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
And El Paso is probably second or third on that list as far as the West is concerned, just of eye test wise. And so yeah, it's kind of strange, and I'll address something real quick. Justin said if we lose to AV Alta, then maybe Jacob will be concerned. It depends. I'm not gonna lie.
If we lose to AV Alta, I'm sorry to say I will not be surprised.
I will not. I'm not going to be concerned until concerned is kind of based on expectation. I expected to host a playoff game, and I still am not counting us out from doing that just because it's the Wild West, and we see crazy things every year in the West. And then to me, it's not about the regular season necessarily anyways. It's about the end of the season and who can win in the playoffs. And I still put our talent up there with anybody. And we still have, what are we in April? So May, June, July, August, September, October to figure it out. 6 months to figure it out for the playoffs. And there's enough teams in this Western Conference that I think we are going to be better than over those 6 months that I'm not worried about making it in to the playoffs. If we're fighting in September, October for a playoff spot, then sure, I will be concerned in that aspect, but I don't overreact to anything in my life, let alone a team that has shown me that they are going to support the club and they're going to do what they can to win, and have come off 2 home playoff wins, or a playoff win in both of the last 2 seasons, and aren't healthy right now. I'm not going to let that shorten my life expectancy. I do that too much as it is when it comes to sports. And so at the moment, I'm fine.
Well, that kind of answers, we have Bob in the chat too, which I think, has Bob ever been in the chat before? I don't know. But hi, Bob. Yeah, if USL League 1 Knoxville beat MLS in Open Cup. So should United be worried about Saturday's match? I think, of course. You never know. AV Alta can really bring it. Which I'm excited to play a new team for once too. I welcome it.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing. Looking forward to a new club. I wish I kind of wish we saw more of that type of thing, but with it being, USL environment, we're not going to see a whole lot of variance. Not like we could potentially see with like an Open Cup type of deal, but it is nice to see another club. AV Alta, am I terribly concerned about AV Alta themselves? No, I'm concerned about us. I am concerned about how we've been playing lately. Realistically all season, because it's not pretty, right? It hasn't been great. We haven't been the team that we thought we were going to be, right? That's not to say that there aren't good moments. It's not to say that there haven't been some good things that have happened, but you absolutely cannot play the way you did against Phoenix 2 weeks ago, and expect to see good things come out of it. So I think there is reason to be worried, but we showed the video that Matt from Raising Anchor sent us. Maybe there was a coming to Jesus moment. Maybe there is something that, maybe these guys, are going to get their shit together. Maybe they will, maybe they'll figure it out and we'll play a little bit cleaner, play a little bit faster, and do it well in front of the home crowd, because I think this team needs a giant shot in the arm right now.
Yeah, above all, I really don't want to see them arguing with each other on the pitch. I want to see that cohesion, that team camaraderie that we're used to. So hopefully they figure it out. Hopefully somebody really steps up as captain and starts to steer the ship the way it needs to be going.
You know what fixes that? A win. We saw that last year, right? The Tulsa, Hartford losing stretch that we had, which was longer than that, but those were the 2 like gnarliest games. The body language doctor did not see very good body language after those matches, because nobody's going to be happy after you lose. But then we go to San Antonio, we play a tight game. It's choppy, it's rough. We don't look pretty, but we get the win. And then all of a sudden, we get loosened up. We string a couple of results together. Players come back from injury, and we were a completely different team down the stretch last year. And I say that to say, if you look at where we're at right now, we're not on a losing streak. We've lost 1 league match. Granted, it was against Phoenix and it wasn't pretty. I get that, but we are in way better position than we were during that losing stretch last time. We're just as injured, if not more injured. And the people that were involved a lot in that turnaround several of those people are still here and are still capable players. It's not like they fell off a cliff. And so, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse at this point, but it's the same group of players. It's not the same group. It's a majority of the same group of players, plus a few more talented players, and the same coaching staff and organization. And they know what the expectation is from the fans and this club and each other. And that will it will get straightened out. I'm not going to say that we're going to be a world beater or be the top team in the West or win the West in the playoffs, but like we're not as bad as we have been lately, and it just baffles me that there are people that like you can be upset at the current run of form, but to be calling for people's heads at this point, much like the losing streak last year, I just don't get it. Especially after what we accomplished last year, after a down little middle portion of the season there. Like it, until proven otherwise, I will believe that we will be fine and have a good run of form at some point and push us up the playoff ladder. And like we're 6 games into a 30-game season.
I agree with Josh and Justin also. I think a big factor is butts and seats. So hopefully we have, a good turnout.
And another thing, when we had that losing stretch in the middle of the season last year, what was the kind of theme there? It was during our run of games where we don't have home games.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of road games, a lot of travel, a lot of wear and tear. And coincidentally enough, we have had 1 home match this year. That's it. And so like 1-6 if you don't count the Open Cup games. And so yeah, you're gonna struggle, especially to start the season on the road with some new faces. Like we're fine. We're fine.
Yeah, we're talking about last week.
Justin, why wouldn't you trust the process? The process has worked out for 2.5 years now. Like ever since Quill came on, like the process has worked out just fine. Yes, the signings to begin the season during the offseason were real top heavy with attackers. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what the plan was there, but neither do you. Neither does anybody else as a fan. They could have targeted some top attackers or top defenders, and it didn't go their way, and they were trying to scramble since then. And so yeah, I'm going to trust the process because the process has been good to us for 2 years now, and that's not a coincidence, I don't think. And so if we fall and miss the playoffs and everything like that, I will change my tune. But there's no reason for me to change my tune right now. I just don't understand. We have a ton of talent up top. We've got talent coming in on the back line once we get healthy, with Keller and Blaquette and Howell once he's fully fit. Plus, we'll figure out something on the fullback position. Like the club has shown that they will make moves mid-season when they know what we need. They know we need defenders. It's not something that is a shock to them. Like they're not stupid all of a sudden. They didn't lose how to think about soccer over a 3-month off season. Like, what are we doing?
I do like the suggestion of changing up the starting 11. I agree with all 3 of those players starting. Hurst, Harris, and LaCava.
I mean, we've played 5. Hurst, he started 3.
For some reason, Dayon hasn't been starting the last few games. I mean, he's been coming on and getting player of the match, and I feel like Sanchez kind of touched on that after the home match.
Yeah, after the home match, yep.
Dayon
it sounded like he was trying to light a fire under.
Yeah.
Dayon's played in 4, started 2. Cullen Wilkerson. Is that really his name? I didn't know. Is that really his name? Cullen?
I don't know. He goes by Cam.
USL has it as Cullen Wilkerson.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah. So it's not like they're not starting, but you also think about the schedule of the matches that we played so far. So,
there you go, Space Kid. You got it.
The way the schedules work out so well. Yeah. The way the schedules worked out so far as well. Like I wouldn't expect Hurst to go through Open Cup matches, multiple, on top of the weekends and starting every single match. Like, so him starting 3 of 5 was fine. Yeah, you bring him on as a sub and late in the other 2. So like that, that's fine. But again, like it's injuries, it's lack of lack of execution. That's what's doing us in. So, you can't outplay bad execution. You just can't, especially like you saw against Phoenix. But this is you've got 2 weeks of practice, no matches. You come in, you got AV Alta, League One club. You've got a chance to potentially right the ship here and put on a good showing in front of the home crowd for the second home match of the season. So,
and hot take, I'm okay if we don't see the A team Saturday and give guys like Keller and Zelalem and Jafal and like Niall Reed like a longer breather. So Andy, the injury list, the official injury list doesn't mean squat. I will tell you right now, Keller is hurt, Zelalem is hurt.
Jafal is hurt.
Jafal is hurt, but came back. He was on the bench at least.
Yeah. Malik got hurt recently.
Hal probably isn't 100%. Harris might not be 100%. I think the benching, quote unquote, is more personnel driven than injury driven, but he might not be fit. The bottom line is, like, other than Keller and Zelalem, who I feel pretty confident are hurt, because we saw Keller limp off during the home match, and Zelalem hasn't appeared in a match all season. Same with Jafal. I'm pretty sure those are hurt, but other than that, we have no idea. It could be half the team. It could be nobody. Unless they have a long-term injury, they're not going to be put on the injury list, which is a problem that I have with USL, a minor problem that I have with USL, but it's what it is. And so, I don't know. Well, had I been on the pod on Tuesday, which thank you guys for covering last minute with the sicknesses and stuff, I would. The panic meter was up here, right? Like it wasn't like up here, but it was higher than it normally is. But the circumstances that I've been crying about all season hadn't changed. And so I've had time to be like, okay, that was a terrible result, but this is a great time for a bye week. And then we go into a League One opponent that hasn't won yet this year, which I don't think will take them lightly. And we definitely want to put on a show in front of our home fans. But it's a great kind of get right game, possibly. And if you decide not to take it like super seriously as far as the starting lineup, then you give those key players even another week to rest and get healthy. So in the chat over here, Andy, the secrecy of the official injury list is it's not mandatory for USL clubs to designate injuries. There's not an injury report like the NFL that if you don't put in, you get in trouble. And so if I'm a coach or a club that has some injuries that they're dealing with, why am I going to put that to my opponents if they're not being as forthright with us? And so it's just it's a competitive balance issue where since it's not mandatory, nobody does it, because if you did it, you would put yourself at a disadvantage.
Yeah. And to that point, the club was one of the last teams to stop putting that list out, because we used to get match notes 2 days early that had injury reports on it. So we would go into the weekend already knowing who was going to be out for sure. And then, obviously players could be added, between then and Saturday, because there is a deadline for when rosters have to be posted or match day rosters have to be posted for USL Championship. But yeah, the club was one of the last teams to stop putting that out there. And that was the exact reason we were given, is that there is no more league mandate. Other clubs are like, hey, why are you still doing this? And so the club stopped putting it out. And yeah, it's for that exact reason. There's nothing requiring them to do it.
And so I think I have a small hand in that, in us stopping, because when we would get those match notes, I would clip that part and post it for our fans to see. And so I did that like 3 weeks in a row, and then all of a sudden they stopped coming. And so,
yeah, it was Yeah, it was definitely a change. It's something we are still getting used to. So again, we only know what we know because we do have our sources and because we see what happens during the matches, and we kind of base it off of
we're sickos, right? We dive into every little Zapruder film that we can find and just kind of piece it all together because we either make the time or have the time depending on how you feel about
Super sleuth pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. And we do talk to people not necessarily in the club, but just people that are also sickos, even some more sickos than us. And so yeah, it's just hockey fight.
Yeah, I'm convinced that we really only have about 16 to 17 healthy players right now. Because we have a fairly small roster as is. I think it's what 23. And so I'm convinced we only have about 16, 17 healthy individuals at this point. That's why you haven't seen some people.
If you see more than one academy name on a 18 on a match day 18, there's injuries.
We know we're in trouble.
Yeah, and that's been the case a couple times already this year. So, And so it's part of the struggle of following a lower league that doesn't have those kind of mandates and stuff for their teams. Which could be a perfect segue if you're ready to move on for a minute.
Well, let's do it. Since we've talked AV Alta, I wasn't really planning on doing that just yet. Let's give our predictions here real quick for Saturday.
Yeah, let's do that. Why don't you start us off, Seth?
I'm going to say we right the ship. 2-0 win. Shakes gets, and I do not think we see a Rosarena again the rest of the season unless Shakes gets injured. 2-0. Shakes with another clean sheet.
Christina, you got something?
You said 2-0. Shakes gets the clean sheet. I don't think it's going to be a clean sheet. I don't know. And I really like the AV Alta fans that we met in LA. So I think it'd be fun for them to get to see their team score a goal or two. So I'm going to go 3-2.
Okay.
For funsies.
Barn burner. I'm going to go very boring. Another fight. Holy cow. These teams do not like each other all of a sudden. Avalanche game. I will go 1-0. I will go clean sheet, but the offense still doesn't click. And for those that have cried about the defense, like I get that sucks, but the defense at least has excuses, not being healthy and stuff. The offense has not been good, and everybody's healthy up there, so I'm kind of looking at that. Casey over in the chat also asked about or mentioned how far Vargas has fallen off on the depth chart, and yeah, that's an issue that we had last year, right? As soon as Noel came in, Vargas kind of disappeared, and that was a bummer. I didn't like that, and so yeah.
Yeah. So alrighty.
Pokemon. He's talking about a Rosarena there.
Oh yeah. So there was a tiny bit of news drama last week.
Oh, are we going to talk about
Facility Gate? Yeah, Facility Gate. And I want to bring this up for a couple different reasons. There was actually very little chatter about this over in the Discord, which I found surprising. There was very little discourse about this over on the subreddit. There was also, from what I saw, very little discourse on Facebook about it. Now, I could have missed some things. I'm not very big on Facebook, but last week
the Players Association isn't very big on Facebook. There's not a big following there.
Yeah, I think most people just don't even know that this happened, is my guess.
So Players Association puts out this picture. Obviously, you got the top half where you see players, and the protests have obviously continued. Players have gone so far as to lock arms in some of the matches and continue to do the 1 minute at the beginning of each half. This picture, the bottom half, was very quickly identified as our Mesa del Sol training facility. And club president Ron Patel took the social media to try to clarify a few things. Now, I know some people had issues with Ron speaking out. More specifically, people had issues with Ron asking Chris Shakes to chime in on this, particularly in the middle of a labor dispute. Now, this is very obviously our training facility.
Wait, what about Chris Shakes?
So Ron initially responded saying, hey, this isn't an accurate photo.
Right.
The club doesn't even train here. The club trains at Elevate.
Right.
And then he tagged Chris Shakes in a separate response, asking Chris to chime in about whether or not the club invests in its players.
Weird.
So this photo, we believe, came from a player. Now, whether or not they are current or former, we don't know. But this was posted. Again, this was very quickly identified as very quickly identified as our facility. And Ron obviously chiming in, very clearly gave it away at that point. Now, this photo, Jacob, you've been here.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
You and I can both speak to the fact that this is an incomplete photo. This the club puts out a number of other machines and stations, stationary bikes, other equipment for them. They keep most of it inside because obviously sitting outside in the sun in New Mexico is not a great idea. We also know there are further facilities inside the building that the players can make use of. This here, to me, is wildly inappropriate by the USLPA to put this out. Is wildly inappropriate by a player who should, in fact, know better. That this is not what the club offers. This is not their primary training facility. And so you saw Ron stand up. The club does train, and we know this. The club has a very close relationship with Elevate. The club trains there as a club, not as individuals. They're not responsible for getting themselves there. They are shuttled to and from Elevate. And players also have access to a gym in their apartment complexes. They have access to gyms and equipment at MDS. And so now, do I agree with Ron necessarily tagging Chris Shakes in the middle of this? No.
I missed that part of it altogether. Honestly.
Yeah, it got deleted.
I saw him tag Elevate, but I didn't see him tag Shakes.
Yeah, he did. That comment got deleted. Now, again, in the middle of a labor dispute, I understand that the dislike for Ron doing that, right? But I also understand Ron standing up for the club, standing up for the individuals, standing up for the people who work hard day in and day out to provide adequate and more than appropriate training facilities and benefits for the players on the club, right? And so there's a lot of discourse on this. Again, players deserve better. It's time to get this done. This is a picture worth 1,000 words. Professional athletes, some substandard conditions. Again, this is not complete by any stretch of the imagination.
And look, I have probably been the most vocal as far as like not fully backing the Players Association on this dispute. Mm-hmm. And I've said, I said it in the group chat when this facility gate happened, and I feel like I've said it before, but I don't know if I've said it on the pod. But look, there's three sides to everything, right? Mm-hmm. There's, in this case, there's the Players Association side, there's the league side, and then there's the truth. That is the case in everything. That's investigation 101. Mm-hmm. When you're doing police work, there's a victim and a perp, and they're both going to lie to you to make themselves look better. It happens everywhere, every time, no matter what. And that's why the pictures, even before this one, the pictures of the meals and everything, mm-hmm. I take with a huge grain of salt. The league's post that they have on their website, take that with a grain of salt. Like, there's obviously gonna be things that are twisted to make themselves look better. Mm-hmm. This picture in particular, having been to this place and know what it's like, and I've seen players using this after practice, mm-hmm. and they're not unhappy. Trust me.
No.
There is so much laughing and joking that goes on in this area after practice. It is ridiculous.
Yep.
And when the players are there working out, it is 100% voluntary, because I've seen players working out on this equipment while other players are leaving. They are there to get in some more work. That's it. Yeah. And this is like, the mats are all pulled up. the shade cover is only one thing. Like it does not look like this now, which to me tells me this is a former player, not a current player, because it does not look like that. It has not looked like that all season. Not just talking about the mats being up, but like there's more equipment out there now. There's more shade out there now. It is not just this. And so yes, it very well could have been like this when they first got it out there. This was all they could put out there. This is all they could afford for that area or whatever a couple years ago. But to put it out now is just in very much poor taste. Ron, I love that Ron stood up for
absolutely
for the club. And more importantly, that comment right there that you can see is what I liked better, because that is El Capitan himself, Josh Suggs, saying, hey, like, this is ridiculous. And so you're not going to get current players commenting stuff like that. But look, Josh Suggs has been critical of the club in the past when it comes to New Mexico born and raised players and stuff like that. And so if anybody's going to come out and bash the club, if they need bashed, as far as former players are concerned, it's Josh Suggs. Yeah. And he did the exact opposite of that. And so
if you missed this comment, if you can't read it here, Josh Suggs says, I understand that we're fighting for standards, but posting this photo and pretending that this is where the club is forced to work out every day is despicable. These players have access to the best gym in the state with arguably the best strength training staff in the Southwest. This post should be removed immediately, and the player responsible for taking this photo should be ashamed of themselves. There was more to this random person. Prove it. Do you also receive wages or access to the clubs? I was like, that's a former player. Like he would know. And Josh, here, I have nothing left to prove because this post is still up. I'll say one more thing before I retire for good. My issue with the scene is the fact that a player elected to take this photo of this rather than fix the mats. That speaks to a culture of entitlement. At USL players, if you're looking for attention, post a pay stub, not a team's second gym. This picture is a false claim and detracts from and undermines your mission. That's a former player telling the Players Association.
There's another reply, isn't there?
Yeah. Notice ELE is a former player and speaking nothing but the truth. Yeah. So I've been, ever since this came out, I've been vocal on social media on the USL Pro subreddit. I posted something in our Discord about it. I posted something and I never got on Instagram. I posted on Instagram because of this. Like, it's wild. But then you go through some of these other comments, right?
Don't. It is a rabbit hole that you do not want to waste your time on. There's some pro and some con in there, but it's crazy.
Yep. I mean, for me, it's like it's two things. It makes me feel super icky that whether it's a current or a previous player, I sure hope it was a previous player who's just salty, submitted a photo like that.
I would bet large money that it's a former player. I don't think we have anybody on the team that would do that currently. But so I'm willing to bet that it's a former player and bet like my house that it's a former player. I probably shouldn't say that because it's the state's house. But you know what I mean? And so yeah.
Yeah, even Kramer Fields over here. I've met Steve Kramer, owner of Kramer Fields, all for collective bargaining and getting a message out. But facts do matter. This is the ancillary area of players where if players want to throw a few weights around on their own without driving across town, many of them live a half a mile from the training ground. They can't. Does not represent the reality for these players. And again, there were comments over on Reddit. Oh, well, they have to drive north of 40 to get elevated. I said it's a 15-minute car drive.
Money on Moreno.
I'm like, it's a 15-minute drive. Like, it's not like you're driving an hour to get to the gym, and it's not these players having to drive themselves. The club as a whole goes to Elevate multiple times a week to train. These are not the only facilities that they have available to them, right? Elevate is, I agree, Elevate is one of the premier gyms in the state. It's a phenomenal training place for them. This gets me Mitch Tainter. Mitch Tainter should know better. Current San Antonio player. He should know better. And then our friend.
Vagina plaster.
That's the other thing that feels icky. It's like, Jacob, you've got the professional training and the skills and the smarts to be able to know, to look at it from different angles, different perspectives. But, I was like, alternatively, I was feeling like, hell yeah, like support the players. the league is nothing without the players, but this just feels so icky. It just is not a good look. And Suggs is right. Like, they should have just taken this post down, because it is so misrepresentative of what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah, it is. And it's stuff like that. Part of the, like, Christina, for me, when it comes to labor disputes in sports, honestly, my professional job has very little to do with me being able to, like, think that way. I've just been such a big sports fan all my life, and I've seen MLB, I've seen NBA, I've seen multiple NBA labor disputes, one major MLB dispute. We're coming up on another MLB dispute. Like, I've just seen it enough and know that like, it's gonna happen. And I really, I'm 90 is probably too high. 75% of me is on the player's side in this. But I also recognize that the league as a whole and the clubs and stuff, like, if the league gave the players everything that they wanted, the top dollar, the top everything that they wanted, the league would not be here. Teams would fold left and right, and we would not have a club, or at least a league for our club to play in. Or if we did, it would be like 6 clubs, and we'd start all over. Which maybe that's what needs to happen, as far as, like, making sure that the clubs all are stable enough that we can move on. So there has to be give and take, and then we see stuff like this that is just a complete misrepresentation to get the rallying cry of people behind them, which they don't even need to do. Like, the people are already behind them. The people have been behind them since day one. 90% of the time, I would say probably 90 to 95% of people in America that follow sports are going to take the player's side blindly.
Oh, yeah.
And so you don't even need to do all this propaganda stuff. Like, just say, hey, this is what we want. And people are going to be like, yeah, give them that. Whatever. I don't care. Without them, there's nothing, which is true. But I kind of think of like a concert, right? Yes, Taylor Swift is the draw. But the amount of people that have to put in countless hours of work to make those concerts happen, that you don't know their names, is kind of what goes on with these labor disputes. Yes, the players are the names that we know, but there are so many other people and things that have to happen for the players to have a place to play, and both sides have to be watched out for. And so yeah, I think, look, I want the players to be well taken care of, but I also want a league. And that's been my stance since day one of this. And I want the player. I want a lot of what the players want. I want for them. And this post doesn't change that. Like, I still want those things for the players, but icky is a good word, Christina. Like, it just feels icky. Like, it's like,
and the current players who liked the post also feel icky for me.
Yes.
It just, I don't know. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
And I tell you what, if you want to learn how to be an internet sleuth, the likes are the way to go. That is, you can find out a lot of things about how people truly feel about likes. Although I do think in this case, a lot of current USL players, not just United players, but just in general, are gonna like anything that the USLPA puts out, because that helps build that post up so it sees more people, so they get more support behind them. But like I said, support, and I don't know what's the point of that right now, but I don't know. It's a weird post. It's a weird situation in general. What's really weird is, like, the day before y'all sent this in the chat, because like I said, I haven't been on social media hardly at all. And I'm kind of glad I wasn't, because I would have been in the comments on this a lot as well. Because you know me, I like to get in and mix it up with the comments. But you guys sent it, and Christina, I think it was you that sent it, and I was just like, oh yeah, Players Association, whatever. I moved on, and it wasn't until the next day when I think Harry said something that I went and looked at it and was like, oh, that is our place. Oh crap, that's what is going on. And luckily, I didn't have time to dwell in it, but yeah, it's just a weird look, man. It's a weird look.
Yeah, it was, and like I said, it's. Again, I know Mitch Tainter has never played here, but like I mean, why? Again, if people are going to get mad about the club owner stepping out and saying something, why aren't people saying something about a current player making vocal comments like this, right? And I get it. For like I said, Jacob, for the most part, we're all in support of the players, right? Yes, there need to be standards. I don't think anyone you won't see any of us ever disagree with that. You know, I had some comments with someone over on the Reddit, and I said, well, look, it's not that. I said, you have to understand that the league is not like MLS. It's not a single entity structure where like MLS, they own everything. MLS owns every single one of the players. The players aren't owned by the clubs; they're owned by MLS, right? These are individual clubs with individual owners paying for the right to be in this league. They're not buying franchises. They're buying the rights to start a franchise, but they're all independent. And with the way health insurance works in the United States, because this is one of the sticking points, right? We're unlike MLS, who can provide group coverage for every single individual, every single employee, right? The USL Championship can't do that. It's not a single entity. It is multiple entities across multiple states, all with different guidelines. So the league itself cannot enforce a standard when there is no standard between the level of care in each individual state. So we, as New Mexico United, we are very lucky that our club has offered from day one the same coverage to the players that they offer the front office staff. And that's unlike any other club in the league, right? So that's one thing. There's not much the league can do. The league can't mandate it. Again, it's not a single. It's not like the league can provide insurance coverage for everybody. The clubs are having to negotiate on their own insurance coverages. And you add that to the cost of overhead. Some clubs are not going to be able to afford the same level of coverage that we see or that some other clubs see. Like, again, there are standards. There need to be salary standards. There need to be, insurance standards. They're due. But when you, again, like I said, this here is absolutely misleading from PA. And I wish more former players like Suggsy would step up and say, hey, do better. But even PA is not going to change what they're doing, though. Yeah. And they did. Yeah. USL did say that they brought all the clubs up to the point to where what PA is wanting as far as health insurance was. That's what the league said. But again, it's not. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the same standard of care across all states that the league operates in.
And I can't. What's really frustrating was I got sidetracked earlier, but like right before Christina sent this and I realized what was going on, I had just watched a video from what the heck is their name? It's a soccer blog type thing that has been really good at covering this. Mm-hmm. And he was reporting that the talks were progressing. Mm-hmm. He's the same one that broke the Jake Papadakis, I think is the name of the president. Him being let go and who's the president's son. Him being let go and because of what was perceived as issues when it comes to negotiating and stuff. And he was saying that things were progressing quite nicely lately, and that while we still weren't a month away, even it was at least getting a little more cordial. And then this comes out, and what's crazy. So this came out this week, right? Since last Tuesday, sometime mm-hmm. between now and last Tuesday. And the Players Association has put out 3 more posts. And so they're still going at it. Like, mm-hmm. and I like what Suggs said about entitlement and stuff like that, because it is It does, yeah, beyond the 90. That was what it was, Casey. Thank you. And
he's not wrong. I mean, he was part of the USL. I mean, I remember him talking on the Curse Cast about what it was like playing for Colorado Springs when the league was just getting started and how hard that was. So, I mean, he's been through that. He's been through the ringer and has experienced those hardships. And it's what you do in those situations. Do you take pictures and post them in ways that are misrepresentative, or do you fix the mats?
Yeah. And then like the next post on the USLPA Instagram is a meal, right?
Yeah.
It's a sandwich and a candy bar and a drink. It's like I understand that this isn't like 5-star gourmet, but do you want like a steak and lobster every day for lunch? Is that what you guys are asking for, or what? Like, I just what would be sufficient? And for a lunch after a training, like, yes, there probably needs to be some more calories in that sandwich. I get it, but it's also not a full picture, right? It's a picture of 3 items. It's not the snacks that are always out behind you or behind the camera. It's not like it's from the top of the sandwich. I can't see how thick that sandwich is or what's on that sandwich other than lettuce and bread. And so anytime court or legal ramification or something like this is going on, like there's always like you can take anything and spin it to help you out, to benefit you.
Yep.
You take any stat, you could take any picture. I can go take the same picture of the gym here at United that was taken in that picture. I could take a picture of that place and make it look beautiful.
Yeah.
I can. Like, you can do whatever you want with it. And so it's a good joke, by the way, Space Kid, but I'm not necessarily saying shut up and dribble. I'm just like, you already have people on your side, including me. And all this does is create bad publicity for you. And or at least has the potential to create bad publicity for you. And in this case, it did, at least among some people. Like, there were still 100 comments on that post, right? About not 100, but there were still plenty of comments on that post, like backing the players from other clubs. And so it didn't even really change the landscape whatsoever in a negative way. Yeah. I hate these kind of things. I think that compromise should be the thing that kind of drives this, and give and take, because in any relationship, whether it's a friendship, a husband and wife, or a partner like that, a business relationship, anything like that, compromise is key. Like, anybody that's married knows that, right? And so it's the same thing here, and that should be the priority. And instead, the PA has been hammering us over the head for months and months and months now. And I'm just kind of sick of it, even if it wasn't for the United Post, to be honest with you. And that doesn't mean I'm not on their side. Like I said, it's just like, yeah, shut up and
either strike or don't.
And let's get, well, they can't strike. The players can't afford to strike. That has been proven by now. If they were going to strike, they would have done it week 1. They don't have that leverage anymore. The only leverage they have is this little protest thing. So at this point, both sides need to shut the hell up and just get in a room and knock the damn thing out. Yeah.
No, I don't disagree. I think there are a number of players that couldn't afford to strike, which even though they've been authorized, they haven't actually called it, right? But at the same time, like, your protests aren't doing you any good, right? Because the league, I am firmly of the opinion the league has mandated the broadcast cutaway. Well, the stadium is pump noise into the stadium.
It's not that it's not doing good.
The post.
It's like, what? Even if the broadcasts were showing it, what good does it do? Like,
I mean, the broadcasters aren't talking about it, so you just see people standing around, right?
But even if they were, what is the benefit there? All it does is bring more awareness to it, which is fine, but everybody's on your side already. Like I said, like it's just to the point now where strike or get it on with. And since you're not going to strike, just get in a room and figure it the hell out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as they should. Like I said, those are your options. Like at this point, the social media posts aren't winning you anything, right? You're the vast majority of the public who is even aware that there's even a dispute, right? Are not necessarily. I wouldn't say we're 100% on the player sides, but like, yeah, they're
Justin, preach, boy, preach. Yeah. Yes, there are definitely people benefiting from this, and my goodness, man, like it's just ridiculous at this point. They've probably, I don't know who plays for the USLPA lawyer, but if it comes out of salaries, they've probably cost themselves more in salaries than they're asking for at this point. Just get it done, guys. Yep. Enough of this.
Well, the players are all paying union dues to USLPA, so
that's probably where the lawyer fee is coming from. Look, United is not having the best season. I get that. If they were having a fantastic season, maybe I wouldn't feel this way. But I do believe that this whole labor dispute thing has killed my drive for this league right now by a healthy margin. I'm still a sicko, don't get me wrong. But like last year, if United was on a bye week, I'm watching 2 games. And I watched 0 soccer, and the only highlight I saw was San Antonio El Paso. That was it. Because I think it was San Antonio had a goal from no, they had a goal from that first goal for San Antonio. I think it was like insanely far out, like beyond center pitch, like in the San Antonio half. They put it over the keeper. I'm pretty sure it was that game that I saw. And so I'm just kind of tired of it. And I'm not going to stop watching United, but it has kind of waned my will to watch other games right now. And honestly, I mean, part of this weekend was I was also super busy, but it's just kind of annoying and icky. Icky is a good way to put it. And so I will say thank you, USLPA, because without you, this podcast would have been 35 minutes long, because there would have been nothing else to talk about. But you allowed me to get on my little soapbox again. So it was a soapbox. Like usually that's what happens, right? I miss a week and then I come back and have a couple soapboxes that I need to stand on, so I can be heard. And so, I don't know, man. It's annoying. It needs to be done.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, I get it. It sucks, but strike or get over it. And I know it would be tough for the players if the PA did strike. Like I get it, but like I said, the on-field protests aren't doing anything. They're just not. I don't think they're pushing they're pushing the league into making a decision, right? I don't think they're pushing. I think the league may have gone as far as they're willing to.
Yeah.
But that's not having any insider information or anything. I firmly believe that the league may have gone as far as they were planning on.
Yeah, I agree. Mike over in the chat, you could talk about Alex not starting for the last 3 games. I could, but I called that when he went to Tulsa. And I called it, and then they changed keepers, and he's still not starting. So, look, I love Alex to death. You can ask my buddy Esteban Senna over in New Mexico United Nation. I backed Tambakis for years when Esteban was calling for his head. But he's not the same guy. He's just not. And so.
Yeah, Josh, that's my point. Like I said, the camera angles change. They pipe music into the stadiums. The commentators don't talk about it. There's no additional eyes and ears on it. And even then, you're going to have people. You still have people in the stadium going. They have no idea what's going on. The vast majority, I would say, probably 60% of the USL Championship fans have no idea.
I do think that it has raised awareness, not to the level that if they showed everything and talked about it would, but I do think that. Like I've seen already comments on social media of like what are they protesting, and then people filling people in, and and then people going, "Oh yeah, heck yeah, I'm on the player's side." Like I've seen that, like real posts that happens in, but like the only way it's gonna happen is if they kick the ball around for 90 minutes and don't try to score. Like literally just like every player passes the ball back and forth all the way up and down the pitch. You stay in your half, we'll stay in ours. We just pass it back and forth. That's it. Desert, he did play. He played in some Open Cup, in the Open Cup match that Sacramento had. But it's a 25-day
His social
contract.
posts are interesting about this.
He liked a bunch of Ron and he liked Ron's and Suggs's posts when it came to the facility gate post anyways. And yeah, I don't know, man.
Whose social posts?
Rivas.
Oh, Sergio's. Gotcha.
Yeah. Sergio had a couple interesting posts since his return. He's posting on TikTok as well.
Yeah.
Sergio's posting some things on TikTok, like he thought things were done, and then suddenly, miraculously 4 months later, or 4 days, I think he said 4 days later, or maybe it was 4 months later. That
days.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was days.
Things have changed. And like, okay, we all thought you were done, Sergio. Like, what changed? You said you told the club that you were going to focus on your other ventures and your family and all this type of stuff. You made posts to this nature. And then suddenly you got a new contract.
Sacramento called and was like, "Hey, I need you for 25 days." And like,
hard to give up.
Yeah, if you have a job that you enjoy doing, and that game is, or that job is a game, and somebody calls you and says, "Hey, we'll pay you to come play this game," even though you thought you were done. Most players, if they're still in relatively good health and shape, are gonna do it.
Yeah. Yep, I don't disagree with that.
Mike's just feeding me stuff. Tyler, I think Tyler plays
He's
this
hurt.
weekend.
I think he was hurt. Yeah.
I assume he was. I did see him the Thursday after the podcast, after the last podcast I was on, because I was at the presser, and he was there working out. He looked good. He looked fit. It could be visa issues as well, because what I saw of him, he wasn't hurt drastically. And so if he wasn't in the 18 against Phoenix, so I'm thinking it's probably a visa issue or something along those lines, because he is an American. Visa issues. Astorga's contract, as far as I know, it's probably up. It's 25 days has passed. I was at that same press conference. Actually, Jake Gutierrez from
United by the
Numbers. Thank you. He first question of the of the presser was, "Coach, what can you tell me about Astorga and Cam Wilkerson's contracts? As they're both, the 25 days are almost up," and didn't really get an answer there. We did kind of get an answer. Astorga, he said Astorga is kind of at a different place than Cam was, and is trying to find the rhythm and find his form again after the injury. And so he might be on trial still, or trial again, and still be training with the club and working for another 25-day. But my guess from what I saw and the writing on the wall is he's probably not going to be back in a black and yellow uniform this year, unless there's more injuries and we feel like we need somebody out there, and unless he makes some strides, if he is still at practice. I did not see him when I was there for the press conference, so I don't know. But they were pretty much done with practice by the time I got there. That's how those things work. And so I just happened to see Tyler. Actually, believe it or not, I saw Tyler working out on the same freaking facility that Facility Gate was taking a picture of. and he looked just fine to me and happy as can be. So, but yeah, that's what I know anyways. That United press conference is the last like real deep dive investigative journalistic thing I've done since that week, and that was right before the Phoenix match, so it's been a minute. But yeah.
Yep. Well, I think that's just about it. Anything else we want to talk about tonight?
I don't think so.
No.
I'm glad to be back. Hopefully next week we'll get to talk about some positive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, what I want to see this match is I want to see names on the team sheet that we haven't seen. Zalalem, Keller, Blaquette.
Not Keller. I want Keller to keep resting a little bit.
Yeah, that I wouldn't be upset with that either. I wouldn't mind seeing him on the bench just to know he's like progressing, and then not see him come in. I would be okay with that. And then want to see Tyler out there, and yeah, just overall want to see some progression towards being healthier as a team is my main thing that I'm looking for Saturday. Yeah. If y'all got nothing else, I'll get us out of here.
I think we're good.
Hey, we saw some new names. Casey, I don't know if you were on last week, but I feel like you're a new name. If you have commented in the past, I apologize. Mike, Justin, Josh, Bob was over there. Space Kid making an appearance. Bry Guy was over there. Eric was over there at some point. Mama Christina, aka Rosemary, was over there. Andy was over there. A lot of similar names, a couple of new names, but all in all, love it. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are just as sicko, just as much as sickos as I am, apparently, because you guys tell me stuff that I don't even know in the chat sometimes. So thank you all for being here. We will all be back hopefully next week, Lord willing, and yeah, hopefully it's a loud, raucous environment. Hopefully we get a result that is positive. Shut some of these Fairweather fans up for me, because I can't do it all by myself on social media as much as I want to. And yeah, hopefully we get like big picture. Hopefully USL and the USLPA come to some kind of agreement this calendar year would be nice. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But thank you guys so much. If you're listening to this at a later date, please rate and review us on whatever podcast player you are choosing to listen to us on. Thank you for listening as well. Really appreciate that. No news on the stadium, Andy. No official news on the stadium anyways. We might talk about that next week or something like that. If the game doesn't go our way, we'll just avoid talking about the game and just talk about more depressing news in the stadium. But thank you all. If you are watching either live or at a later date, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, please like and subscribe to us there. Share with all your peeps. Let people know about us, and we will. Are either of you going on Saturday?
Yep, I'll be there.
I will be traveling to Washington, D.C. So next week I'll be East Coast, but I have an Airbnb and I'm not doing anything other than just being in D.C. with my daughter. So I'll still be on the podcast.
Good. And you'll watch the game live, or you got plans?
Yeah, I think I get in East Coast time at like 5:00 or something, so I should be good.
Cool. I will probably not be at the game. Some updates on my life. I am coaching Coach Pitch Little League, which
cute.
10 out of 10 would not recommend. Actually, no, the coaching of it I would recommend. I also umpired some high school age Little League games this weekend. Would not recommend that.
Parents are awful.
You know, I will tell you this. I had really good parents this week. I had problems with the coaches. I almost kicked both coaches out. But the parents were on my side. Even after the match, I had multiple parents from both sides come up to me and thank me for how I handled some of the situations that were being dealt. And you never see that. So I'm thankful for the parents. Yeah. Coaches, not as much. And Coach Pitch is just like chaos.
My son had a soccer game the other day. It's a middle school. This is a middle school soccer game. The parents for the team had vuvuzelas.
Nice. Hey, I'm all for that. Let's do it. But no, so my Saturday days are booked from now until mid-May, which means probably won't be traveling to any Saturday home games for a little while. Although do we play El Paso here next week? I think we do.
Yeah,
My phone is about to die though, so
Christina, you did.
I might
It's
make
on
an
a Wednesday, right? At the lab.
Oh, it is the Wednesday one, huh?
Yeah, I thought it was like at 10 a.m. or
Perfect.
something, but maybe not.
Is
Maybe
it
it's
10
like the
a.m.
normal
Wednesday?
time. I don't know. It felt
No,
like it was a
it's-
weird time, but maybe I'm wrong.
7 p.m. May 6th
Much
is
better.
that game. And so since
Yeah.
that one's a Wednesday, that one might be
Some
doable.
other website had a funky time listed for one of the other ones too.
Well, remember that one Wednesday game, like the beginning of the year, was a 10 a.m. one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was weird.
Oh, breaking news, guys. Hold on.
Oh. Ooh.
A story just posted at 8:27 p.m. About Tyler and him coming with the club from the Albuquerque Journal. It's too long for me to read on the podcast, but I don't know.
Casey, thanks for the recommendation of Beer Hall. I'm gonna look that up. A beer hall in DC to go watch some footy.
That sounds fun. Before we leave, I will
Wants to prove he has more to offer.
pop that over in the chat for y'all to look through if you want. It probably doesn't say anything about if he's going to play this weekend or not, but I'm going to go read that now as soon as we get off. So again, thank everybody in the chat. Thank everybody listening and watching at a later date. And we will be back same time, same places next week, hopefully talking about 3 points. And yeah, love y'all. Somos Linos. See you next